Right, welcome everyone. Thank you for taking some time out of your Friday to join us for the KC Coalition for Digital Inclusion. I'm Leslie Scott. I'm the program manager here at KC Digital Drive, and we welcome you to today's meeting. So first of all, we always start with our mission and our vision. So our mission is that every citizen and household in the Kansas City metropolitan area has access to the internet, the equipment needed to use it, the skills needed to take advantage. And then, that's our vision. And then our mission is to facilitate collaboration among organizations and initiatives working to bridge the digital divide in order to maximize the resources for the greatest impact. So we are back in business to take new members. So if you haven't joined the coalition, you can contact me, and we'd be happy to get you added. And there's no fee or real formal application process. Just let us know that you're interested in being a member. So I know for sure we have at least one new attendee other than our panelists today. So Rosalind, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, good morning. My name is Rosalind Davis, and I am working with Helen Petit with the Vernon Center, the lead trainer there, providing just the orientation training for the applicants there at the Vernon Center.
And that's for the ADOPT program that you're doing, that the Kansas Office of Broadband Development has funded, correct? You're handing out 500 iPads?
That is
right?
correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
So we have, we also were fortunate enough to also get awarded, and happy to report that I think we are down to 2 more devices to distribute. So we're almost there. Any other new attendees?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sheena Stuckey. I work with First Robotics. We are a newer robotics company here in Greater Kansas City. Someone told me that I should jump on the call and see what Kansas City Digital Drive was all about. So I'm here.
Great. Welcome, Sheena. Right. Anybody else other than our panelists?
Good morning. I'm Gloria Bradford. I'm with Goodwill. I'm sitting in for one of my coworkers, Jenny Tucker, who normally attends these meetings.
Thanks, Gloria. I love Jenny. Are you also a digital skills instructor?
I have become one just recently. So I just started teaching digital literacy at different locations.
Great. Well, if you wouldn't mind dropping your email in the chat, Leah will get you connected with our Digital Inclusion Learning Circle, which is for digital skills instructors to it's like a professional development group where you can just get resources, talk through, new curriculum, or share tips and tricks that you have. And so we'd love to have you attend those and contribute. So
thank you.
And Leah, can you monitor the chat for me? Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. So before we get started with our agenda, I wanted to give Bill Abston with the KOBD a little time to give us any updates he might have. And Bill, you have the floor.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's always a pleasure to meet with you guys here at the Digital Divide and Inclusion here for the Kansas area, right? So I'm the executive director for the Kansas Office of Broadband Development. It was created by an executive order by Governor Kelly back in 2020 to provide, administrate the the grant programs that we have federally and statewide. So as of right now, we're managing a portfolio of $1.1 billion as a combined federal, state, and matched dollars in both infrastructure, last mile, middle mile, and digital opportunities. And so on the BEAD front, we are now working feverishly to conclude the negotiation and contracting of those subgrantee awards. I think we're at 9 subgrantees, 81 projects that will hopefully have all signed and executed before our first NTI date was July 7th, and we somehow blew past that, and they were kind enough to give us an extension of 60 days. And in the interim, we had one of our subgrantees rescind their award, so we'll be reworking the resound award, and we're working with NTIA on those guidelines on how we can do that. We'll first approach the adjacent subgrantees, and then we'll go back to the bigger pool if we can't get a complete resolution of those. But on BEAD, we should be into permitting no later than 60 days after the sign of the executed contracts. So on the digital opportunity side or digital capacity side, you all know that the current administration by executive order stopped our digital equity capacity grant of $8 million. However, there was a litigation going on there, and has been an injunction on that. So even though the clawback has been, or the closeout of the project has been performed, I still see those dollars available in our portal, and we're crossing everything that we can cross in hopes that those will come back. And we're hearing around December we might get a new information on how we can work with those. And as well, in our BEAD program, we have a line item of $139 million of non-deployment dollars. Some of that will go down because the resound reassignment will cost more money. It's just a fact, and we're waiting for that to rehappen. But some of that non-deployment dollars will have to be redeployed into deployment to get those projects that resound had rescinded. And once we have, I guess if you're monitoring the BEAD rumors and communications, Assistant Secretary Roth is supposed to give us a released guidance on the non-deployment funds by summer. We didn't know what year that summer was going to occur, but supposedly by summer. And we have an SBLN coming up in Nashville, I think in September. And we're thinking that we'll get some kind of guidance then on those non-deployment funds. And then once we get those, we'll know how we'll be able to address digital opportunities under that. And we are continuing to, we're starting to get into closeouts on the Adopt and Doc programs. And so I'm really happy about the closeouts. You know, I'd rather be at the closeouts than the ribbon cutting or the shovels in the ground, because we actually see the impact of the dollars and the efforts that folks have made to provide that digital opportunity. Another thing in closing, what I'd like to tell you is, with all this infrastructure construction design and all that kind of thing, we don't do anything just building the network, right? We have to be accessible, we have to be affordable, and we have to have the folks prepared to strive in the digital environment. For the folks of Kansas that choose to be rural can be rural by choice, and not be isolated from the education, from telehealth, from agriculture, or any kind of commercial business needs that they would like to participate in this digital world. And with that, if you have any questions, I got a few minutes I can address those.
So I was interested with, I was on the NDIA call about the Digital Equity Act update, I guess. And I was intrigued by the fact that the state broadband offices were required to close out those capacity grant programs. I was not aware of that, but you're saying that even though you were required to do that, the money still appears to be available to you. Not that you can access it, but that
Not
it
that
didn't actually go away.
it's there in the portal. When I go into the NTIA portal, I have 3 different budget streams or funding streams that I'm accessing there at that NGA portal. And so I've got my BEAD money, I've got my enabling middle mile money, and then I've got the digital capacity grant. There's 8 point some million dollars, but we have closed that out. We have done the paperwork
Yeah.
to close that out with NIS. However, that injunction, wherever that is, in that I'm not a lawyer, and so I've crossed everything that I can cross in hopes that that money comes back and we can use it in the state of Kansas to continue our digital opportunities efforts here. Again, we don't do anything just by building the network, right? It has to be affordable, it has to be accessible, and the folks have to have the equipment and have to have the training to be able to thrive through that investment. But we're making a generational investment in building that infrastructure, right? So in the end, if it's not used, it doesn't do anything. So we have to have our focus on accessibility, affordability, and the folks that require additional help in devices or training or whatever we're needing to do to continually allow the people of Kansas to thrive in the digital environment. That's what we need to do.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for that update. And I'll just offer that we're keeping our eye on all the happenings, and we'll be just providing those updates as they become available as well. So for anyone whose eyes are glazed over by this update, the non-deployment funds, the law said that if there's anything left over after serving everybody who was either unserved or underserved, by building the infrastructure to get them internet service, then that money could be used for a list of purposes, with the last bullet being basically whatever NTIA decided was something that it could be used for. So whereas it looks exciting when you look at the list, digital skills, workforce, all the things that we want to use that money for, if they find another what they consider suitable use for it, then it could also go toward that. So when Bill's referring to the guidance that's supposed to come out this summer, that's what that means. And then the Digital Equity Act, there were 2 programs. One was a nationally competitive program, and that is what the court case just was related to, was the nationally competitive program, and what got decided there. The judge basically separated one of the covered populations from that grant program, which was the racial and ethnic minority covered population. So that's for people who, because this grant program got all the way to where people had been provisionally awarded and actually were in the contract phase. I think there might have been a contract or 2 that had been even executed. And so then it was canceled by executive order, and that's what this court case referred to. And so basically the federal government said, hey, if you remove that covered population, we've got no problem with it. And so that's what the judge decided should happen. And so it can now proceed. The word at the moment is that the notice of funding opportunity, which will start the clock on being able to submit applications, is supposed to come out in December. Last time we had 60 days to get a proposal in. That could be the same, it could be different. The notice of funding opportunity could be totally revamped, it could be very similar. Nobody knows, no crystal balls there. So this is all just relevant to us here on the ground as we look for funding for the work that you all are doing. And then the state capacity program was something that the state broadband offices, like the Kansas Office of Broadband Development, administered. And that was not decided in that court case. So there's still a bit up in the air about what's going to happen with that, which is what Bill just reported on. So just wanted to give a little bit more context and clarity there on these things that you all probably don't spend your days tracking. So we do and want to be a resource of information in addition to hearing from Bill and his team and also on the Missouri side. So we are hearing directly from them about what they know. So any questions for Bill?
I think he actually just left the call.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess we don't have any. So anyway, that's what's happening there. Before we dive into our panel, I wanted to see, do we have anybody new join us since we asked last time? Anybody who's not joined us before? Okay.
Hi there. I had joined a while back, but was recently trying to kind of get back into it to learn a little bit more. My name is Dustin Allen. I'm the director of IT over at the Housing Authority of Kansas City. So I was just kind of just coming in and soaking up and kind of learning a little bit more about what you all do. So I appreciate the invites and I'm here today. So
Great. I think we've been looking for a contact at the Housing Authority, Dustin. So if you wouldn't mind sharing your email address with Leah, we'll get you on our mailing list.
Hello,
Leah,
Leslie. Oh,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. So sorry to interrupt.
No, yeah, we're glad you're
Yeah.
here.
So
You
this is my
introduce
first
yourself?
time. Yeah, this is my first time to join. Yeah, I think I'm in the group, but this is my very first time to join. Yes.
You want to tell everyone who you are? I know who you are.
Yes,
But
my name is Susie, and I work for the International Rescue Committee. I manage our educational programs, digital literacy, financial coaching, and ELT, English language training. Thank you.
Thank you. Over in KCK.
Yes, I'm in Kansas City, Kansas. Yes.
Yep. All right. Anyone else? All right. Well, welcome everybody again who's new. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started on our neighborhoods panel. Mr. Ike, do you want to go ahead and get us moving here?
All right. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you're a little light, but I think we can all just turn up a little bit.
Okay. Well, I'm Ike Graham, and I was the president of Vineyard for the last 11 and a half years. Last May, I turned 86, so I decided not to run anymore. And not only that, we have some real young people, not real young people, some young people that's very enthusiastic and really want to get out and do something. So we wanted to go on and let them do it. So they got a new president as of July the 28th, was Stacy Hartman. And I think that they are really going to do a great job. So about 10 years ago, maybe, I got involved with digital inclusion through the Kansas City Library. And that's where I met you, Tom, and quite a few people. And from our relationship together, they came out and put in a computer lab for us. All computers, 10 of them, hooked them up, got us going with our computer lab. And since then, we've had Megan and some other people come out and do computer classes at the neighborhood center. Megan has done several here. Real good job. And from that, we had people like one of the classes you did, Leslie, where they got free computers for taking a course, you know. And some people still calling up asking about that. And I told them, well, when it start up again, we'll do it. Tom, I called Tom and told him that there were several kids that was going off to college and needed laptops. And they had them within a few days. So for Vineyard, the digital inclusion really been working out. And any problems that we have, I call Tom, he sent Chris Wiley out, and it's solved right away. So it has really, really been a blessing for Vineyard to be involved with digital inclusion. Any questions?
Mr. Ike, can you tell everybody where your neighborhood is and what your neighborhood is?
Yeah, we are located at 4301 East 43rd Street. And yeah, we've been in existence 58 years. In 28, we'll have 60 years. And we've just been here as a resource center for the community. Yeah.
And what are your boundaries?
39th Street on the north, Cleaver 2 on the south. On the west is Cleveland Avenue, and on the east is Cleaver 2 Boulevard.
Okay. Yeah. Well, when I was at Connecting for Good, I think I spent some time in that initial setup for your lab. So I've been kind of along for the ride in a few different ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then this isn't really digital inclusion related, but it's pretty fascinating. Can you talk about that that building that you all have for your neighborhood center?
Yeah, we got this building in 2005 through the Kansas City Neighborhood Alliance. And we're in our 21st year that we've been here now.
Yeah, and it's made out of concrete, right?
It's fabricated with concrete.
Yeah, so
it's really, really nice.
Yeah, it's just kind of it's just a cool thing, that it's sustainable. It's a place you can go if there were a tornado or something, right? Like, isn't it a safe place that you could, yeah. Anyway, like I said, not really digital inclusion related, but I think it's pretty interesting. Yeah, can you give that address again, Mr. Ike?
4301 East 43rd Street, right on the corner of 43rd and Spruce, right down the street from the Genesis School.
Okay. Awesome.
I actually
Go ahead, Sheena.
I actually have a question. I don't know if this is like the right time or the right place, but I have some questions about the community and like what are some of the things that they are asking for or like looking for? I don't know if I can like partner with someone after this call.
Yeah, so we'll have a panel of different neighborhoods today, and maybe we can kind of make that one of the questions that we pose to everyone once everybody gets through their introduction. How's that sound, Sheena?
That's awesome. Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay. Let's see. Edward, you want to go next?
Good morning. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, KC Digital for Inclusion organization for allowing me to come present, meet with the group. This is definitely an organization I think I would like to be a part of and regularly participate in, especially for Blue Hills, but also just as an educator myself. So thank you for the work that y'all been doing, for meeting, convening, and just really pushing digital inclusion and equity. As we know, that is probably one of the most important components to community living in 2026 and beyond, right? So we just understand the significance and the relevance of it. So thank you for the work you're doing. Just real brief, just want to just give a little tidbit about what's going on in Blue Hills. I serve as Blue Hills president. Linda Brown has been president for a while, but I've succeeded her, but we don't let her go anywhere. She's going to still be around forever. We ain't let Linda go nowhere. So Mama Brown is still very much involved and active. But one of the things I was tasked with as president from my community was to take Blue Hills to the next level, whatever that meant, right? And so we're looking for strategic opportunities to grow and expand the level of service and the level of care that we provide for our communities and neighborhoods. But then also I'm very intentional about working with other neighborhood groups to build their capacity. Blue Hills is a very strong neighborhood group. We have, several accounts, a lot of grants. Our territory and domain is very huge. We're the largest neighborhood association in the largest city council district, 5th district in our city. And so our neighborhood covers 3rd and 5th district. And so there are some very unique needs that speak to the 3rd and 5th district, but then there's also some very common denominator needs in the 3rd and 5th district that speak to the city in mass and at large. And so those opportunities in which we can partner, share, collaborate, work together, coalition build, we are very much engaged in wanting to be that. It's good to see Mr. Graham. That is a pillar in the community for a long time. He's been a support to me. So it's good to see you, Mr. Graham. Thank you for all the work that you've done. I just wanted to say that because I just believe in giving my elders their flowers while they can still smell them. So just thank you for the work you've done, Mr. Graham. In terms of Blue Hills, so we've had a couple of projects. We're in the process of building a digital literacy lab in our CAN Center. And so that has been an interesting and exciting labor of love. We're currently dealing with rain and small flooding coming in from the garage. So we're still working on that. But in terms of the structure itself, we got the walls, the ceiling, the windows, and electricity and all that stuff up. So we're building a nice little computer lab, digital literacy lab in our CAN Center to be accessible for our neighborhood residents, but I think also just for the community at large. If there's somebody who just needs some assistance, needs some technical assistance with resumes, emails, online accounts, job preparation, job training skills, just the myriad of, what's needed for inclusion to be a digital citizen in this day and age. We want to provide that. And so we worked with the city of Kansas City. I got to give props to Mr. Jerry Buckman. He has been instrumental in being very supportive of those digital initiatives from Blue Hills. We also received a grant from, from Neighborhood Rising Fund, Digital Pathways Program. And so we're leveraging, some of the support and technical assistance from those programs and entities to provide a robust digital literacy program for Blue Hills. And our goal is to really enhance the capabilities of the residents in our neighborhood. We have a lot of homeowners and a lot of older population folks who aren't as tech savvy as probably could be or need to be to really maneuver through how things are changing at such a rapid pace. And so we want to provide those classes, those training opportunities for our residents. But I will also say if there's any community member, right, We work with Center for Neighborhoods. Jacob, Dina, LaMonica are our extended family. And so if there's a point of need that maybe is not in Blue Hills, but you still want our technical assistance or want us to come help, please reach out to them, reach out to myself, and we'll come traverse that terrain. Neighborhoods have to work together. Neighborhoods have to work together. Let me say it again. Neighborhoods have to work together. Those geographic boundaries are man-made boundaries, but they don't speak to the common denominator of need amongst people. And so it doesn't matter if you're in 4th District, 6th District downtown, need is need. When people need help, we need to respond. And so we want to be very collaborative and cooperative in working with other folks, building capacity of other organizations, whether that's helping them get grant funding, helping them design programs, or just implement programs. And so we are just very intentional about those type of activities. Another thing is we are really looking to expand what CAN centers can do. I'm not sure if people know what CAN centers are, but it stands for Community Action Network Center. And so a lot of neighborhoods have what they call CAN centers, which houses the neighborhood office. But in our office too, we have a codes inspector. We have a couple of other entities like Black Urban Growers and some other business folks that are community partners. And so we're looking at how does that become a model for neighborhoods to really develop and grow. I do development myself, so I'm very interested in making neighborhoods co-developers. So there's a long-term residual benefit for neighborhoods, for community members, and we really just need to equip our community with the tools and information to be able to do that. And that's where the digital inclusion piece really comes into play in terms of sharing information, getting people engaged from where they are, and then also mobilizing folks to get people to move to a certain point to be active. And so we are just very laser beam focused on providing that for our community, but also the city at large, and just wanting to be a good partner working with folks. So thank you for the time to be here. Appreciate that.
And maybe I missed it, but did you provide your neighborhood boundaries?
I did not. Please forgive me for that. We are 47th, 49th Street to the north. We are 63rd Street to the south. We are Purcell to the west, and we are Prospect to the east. And so we are very much a central city neighborhood organization. I will tell you, some of the highlights from that area is that, yes, Ms. Stuckey, most definitely. Some of the highlights from that area is that we've had a 2-year reduction in crime and homicide and violence year over year. I mean, I'm talking about of like 40%, right? And policing doesn't do that. Community engagement does that. And we've worked with our CAN officer, but we've also hosted events like park days and community resource fairs and peace walks and surveys where we've gone door to door to really gather voice from our community members, and people see us out. And so, there's a real synergy that's happening in terms of getting people involved, getting folks engaged. We're establishing contractor lists and constituencies, so folks who need minor home repair can get that done. And that came from us leading a $500,000 minor home repair program last year, where we were able to provide just free assistance to neighborhood members who needed roofs, electrical, just the whole gamut, right? And so again, just wanting to be a resource and a model of how we service our community efficiently and effectively, but also partnering with other communities. Nobody's coming to save us. We got to get in, we got to do the work, we got to be hands-on, and we got to be collaborative, but also intentional. And so that intentionality yields to making sure we are adamant about taking care of community members and being intentional about working with other community organizations too.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, Lena's asking for the
Our address is 5309 Woodland Avenue. I'm putting it in the chat now. But 5309 Woodland Avenue.
You're in a house,
yes,
right?
Yes, it's a large house, has about four bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a full basement, and we utilize every square foot of that space. As a matter of fact, we have grown so much in terms of our neighborhood participation. We host our CAN meetings at the Salvation Army at 6025 Prospect. So every third Saturday of the month, community at large is welcome to come. We're at 6025 Prospect. I'll put that in the chat too. Every third Saturday from 11 to about 1 o'clock. And last meeting we had Jackson County candidates come. Mr. Baird came, Mr. Tarwater came, a lot of the other legislators, Ms. Wilson, just a lot of folks came. And so we really try to provide access to those types of potential decision makers, but then also just current decision makers in who is making decisions about our community, making sure that they're engaging with us, getting voice from us, but also we're supporting and working too. And so there has to be what I call inside and outside game. We got to have inside game in City Hall, but we got to have outside game out here in the community. And we have to be collaborative and cooperative. So that's something we're very intentional about too at Blue Hills. Matter of fact, we changed our terms to reflect the councilmatic terms because we were having leadership that was turning over so often we wasn't able to really establish those long-term relationships with decision makers at the city and county level. So again, just being strategic about our alignment, about our focus and energies. And so we're just really trying to push and make our community better, make our city better at large, right? One block at a time, one neighborhood at a time.
That's awesome. You're both very fortunate and somewhat unique in having buildings.
Yes.
That's
so
not...
that I would tell you, Ms. Scott, too. Something else is that so I lead a national nonprofit, NACCC. I have about $250,000 in a fund to acquire the undesirable, ugly, and raggedy assets in our urban core. And so something that I've been having conversations about, like with Blue Valley, with Town Fork Creek, and some other neighborhoods, is I'm willing to take some of that money to purchase a house for those neighborhood organizations in their neighborhood to have a CAN center. Some of these officers are operating out of their house. Some of these officers are operating out of shared spaces with other organizations, which means you don't really have the agency and the autonomy to serve the needs in mass of the community. And so I think a big piece in terms of upward mobility would be to allow neighborhoods to have their own center, but then also, again, allowing neighborhoods to become co-developers with developments that's happening within there. To me, that would be a most logical community benefits agreement. Making sure that you are getting community voice, resident voice, and also support as new structures and things are, manipulating the environment. We have to be mindful of like what the landscape looks like, not for us, but for the next generation coming. Is it relevant? Does it have some importance? Is it significance? Is it an enhancement? Does it increase and enhance the livability, right? I mean, these are just real conversations we have to have. And development doesn't always yield that because it's a lot of quantitative and financial metrics, but there's still a space where those metrics can intersect with community benefits. And so we just have to be intentional about creating those opportunities to do that.
Yeah. Well, you're very focused on working with your residents and not just for or to. So that's impressive.
Yes.
Thank
I'm
you
a child
so
of the
much.
village. I was poured into a lot. I owe, right? So I want to give back.
Wow. All right. Well, Megan, Andrew, Wendy, I don't know who's up from y'all's side, but it's your turn.
Leslie.
Yes, Mr. Wright.
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment to Edward. Thanks for the flowers. And I really want to see if you and our housing committee chairman could work together, especially about the development, housing development. We got a young group, man, that's really, really working, and I would like for y'all to get together and work. And I wish some kind of way that you could get all the presidents together, all on one page where we could all work together. When you were talking about getting the communities together, if we could get just all the presidents together and get them on one page.
Mr. Graham, I'll work on that. I'm definitely coming to see you over there. I'm at the building. I will definitely do that, but I will definitely work on that task too. Yes, sir.
Okay. All
yes,
right.
Sir.
And the new president appointed me office manager, so I'm gonna be around a while too.
Yes, sir. We need that. You know, our community really suffers from the talent and the information drain or flight, right? We don't really push the continuity like we need to. And we don't have enough Ike Grahams, enough Linda Browns, enough Judith Boyds who are ingratiating of the next generation, wanting them to come in and assume leadership, but still have a space to learn and grow. So, Mr. Graham, you've always been there for me. I mean, this ain't new. You know that. But I just want to say it publicly. Thank you for that. And thank you for what you're doing in your neighborhood. And yes, sir, I definitely will be working on that.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Megan.
Yes. Well, after two amazing speakers, I'm not sure how I'm gonna follow that, but hi everyone. My name's Megan McNaughton, she, her pronouns. I am the Tech Access Partnerships Coordinator at the Kansas City Public Library. I am very familiar with Mr. Graham and the amazing work being done at Vineyard. And Edward, we have not met, but I've done a lot of classes at Blue Hills Neighborhood Association. So great to see you on the call. Definitely would love to connect. But I, with the work that I do at the library, on the tech access team, we provide digital literacy training and support to adults and seniors in the community, both in our library branches and at partner sites like neighborhood associations and senior centers, anywhere where seniors might congregate or spend their time. And so I have the privilege of getting to go take our digital literacy classes out into the community to the Vineyard Neighborhood Associations, to Blue Hills, to Washington Wheatley for a while. And so I think Mr. Graham and Mr. Bell have said everything incredible about the neighborhood associations. So I just wanted to highlight the importance of calls like this, where you're connecting with other community members. Mr. Graham's point about neighborhood association presidents coming together, sharing their resources, sharing the knowledge, building their connections. All of that is crucial to not only building up future leaders in organizations and in the community, but also sharing those resources. How many people on this call have come to or been to the Kansas City Public Library this year so far? Okay, a couple of people, a couple of people. The library is not just books. We have, in addition to physical media, we have so many digital resources, whether you like ebooks or audiobooks, whether you want to look up old microfilm copies of newspapers, if you need small meeting rooms, if you want to have spaces to congregate and spend time without having to pay for the space. But in addition to the resources present in the libraries, there are folks like myself and my colleague Andrew, who's on the call, and we do digital literacy training and we offer that support. And for me specifically, I can bring that to the community. Wendy likes to call us the library's best kept secret, and I do kind of think that's still the case, even though we've been trying to get out in the community and be public about ourselves for the last 5 years or so. But it really is true that there are so many resources all around us, and it's really important to just ask questions, to be willing to say, hey, like, I'm looking for a resource around X, Y, or Z. Do you know someone who might know someone? Or can you help me troubleshoot this question? Especially for me, for the seniors that I serve, all of the classes that I teach are foundational digital literacy. We're not going deep into the weeds of every single tech topic that exists. We're focusing on how do you send a text message? What are emojis? How do you unsubscribe from emails that you don't want anymore? And so being able to help people develop their foundational skills is where my talents lie. But when people come to my classes and they have questions about low-cost computers, or if they have questions about where to find additional resources, I am that point person that says PCs for people, or that tells them which library people to get connected to. Or if they say they live in an area, I'll say, oh, have you been to Vineyard to meet the people there? Because at the end of the day, our community is going to be what sustains us, and everyone is going to know something that we don't. So the more that we are able to rely on each other and build our connections in the community and between these organizations, the more likely we are to build up a community that wants to stick around, that is willing to stay and answer questions and be a support for the next generation. And so I I think I'll cut it off there, but I'm definitely interested and very passionate about teaching seniors and adults how to use their technology, how to navigate it, and I'm always willing to answer questions about it. Um, I I'll end on a quote that I really like. Way back in college, I was an orientation leader, so I talked to new parents and students about what it was like to be in the school. And one of the things that we were taught in our training is when someone asks you a question and you're an orientation leader, it's their first time asking the question, even if you have heard it 1,000 times before. And I really bring that to every interaction I have because I work with a lot of people and they all have similar foundational questions, but each person is asking it for the first time. And so being able to bring that joy and that love of curiosity and that willingness to build connections and help people understand what they want to do and what they need to accomplish and what resources they need to get them there. That's my favorite thing about being in this role. So I am going to pause because I know we have other people who want to speak, but very happy to be here, very happy to help anyone with resources and helping seniors feel confident navigating their technology. Thanks.
Thank you, Megan. So you said Vineyard, Blue Hills, and Washington, Wheatley, and then you have been at the Southeast Community Center some too, right?
Yes, I've been at Southeast Community Center and then Garrison Community Center. I'll be starting a series there, hopefully this month.
Okay, great. Awesome. And that's going to be your, oh yeah, and you've
And
been at
Ivanhoe, of course. How could I forget Ivanhoe? Thank you, Leah, for knowing my role better than me.
I talk about it all the time with everyone, so just want to make sure.
Yes, I forgot Alana was not going to be on the call, and I was like, of course she'll speak up, but Ivanhoe as well. Yeah.
So, kind of to Sheena's question, maybe you all can just dive in, whoever wants to chime in. What are you seeing? What needs are you seeing in your community? I know, for instance, like AI is, becoming more and more of a topic that people are interested in and concerned about as well. Scams, etc. So what are you looking to do to meet those needs? What needs are you even seeing?
Yeah, I'm happy to kind of kick off that question. So for every person that I serve, and this is like across the metro area, a lot of the nervousness around technology comes from it being very jargony, from hearing buzzwords on the news, and then only hearing like the scary news stories on the news, like no news story is ever like, look at these adorable puppies, and that's the end of the story. There always has to be some driving point to the story. And so I think being able to offer, in my case, these foundational digital literacy skills where it's like, I have a class about scams and I have a class about AI. Let's talk about what it means to talk about when we hear about scams. Let's talk about the kinds you'll hear about. Let's talk about how you can protect yourself, especially as it relates to technology. And so being able, whatever it looks like for the association or for the community center, but being able to offer foundational information that says, like, here is the facts about what you're concerned about. And then again, having those resources saying, here's when classes are happening, or let's sit down and talk about, you're worried about a scam, tell me what your concerns are, and building up that one-on-one connection with the person.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Edward, Mr. Ike, either of you have thoughts about what your residents are saying, interested in learning, or maybe needing to learn at this point?
I'm definitely going to reach out to you, Megan. Thank you for that presentation. Yes, it's the gamut, because there's a lot of nuances that I think are intimidating to some of our residents. I think also with the obscene amount of misinformation. I'm just being honest, right? I think it's important to have a reliable source and a credible partner that can help filter through some of that nonsense, and really just empower our community residents to be engaged. And let me give you just a simple number of why that's important. In the 5th district, there's about 57,570 registered voters. If you look at the frequent voter list, it's about 5,750 voters. So we're talking about a 10% participatory rate, right? And so we also understand that those that don't speak up, those that don't show up at the table, end up on the table. And so these are very 5 feet from the ground, actionable items, realistic empowerment tools that, Megan and other folks like this group is providing. We need to plug in, right? And to me, it's so much about making it available and accessible so people have the option and the choice. I'm an educator, right? People don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. A person is not going to allow you to guide them in learning if they can't trust you as a guide. And so as many as credible partners as we can provide to the table. So Megan, thank you for the work you're doing. KC Coalition for Digital Inclusion, thank you for the work you're doing, because it's really the gamut, right? It's not one thing over the other. It's really about being able to address the revolving door of needs. And then we also know it's a scaffold. Once you get comfortable with tech at this level, then there's another level of interaction and engagement that needs to happen. And then there's a level of engagement interaction in which those folks become empowering to other neighborhoods. And so we just really need to build capacity of the programs and the people. Right.
Mr. Ike?
Yeah, all I can say to that is ditto. Plus, Mr. plus Megan, who's that? Was that Jesse that was working with you?
Oh, Melissa.
Melissa, yeah, Melissa. Yeah. Well, you both did a fantastic job. And when y'all came out and they taught them about the cell phones and all that, we need more of that, and like Leslie brought up before about this AI. Every time they see something on Facebook now, they're wondering, is this real or is this AI? So we really need more of that.
Yes, thank you. Edward, I'm interested. You said you're working on building a lab, a computer lab. Can you talk more about, is that going to be in your can? Okay, and then what are your plans for activating that? Like, are you going to bring in community partners? Are you standing up your own programs? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Both. So, we have some technical capabilities within our own organization and neighborhood itself, but we also want to expand that and partner too. And so that was the impetus for me for coming to this meeting, not so much to talk so much, but try to listen more. but I'm glad to share information and keep people updated. But yes, I mean, we have internal organic programming that we're doing, but we also want to partner and expand that because again, I'm intentional about creating models that are scalable and replicable, right? And so they may be a small program, it may be a robust program, but whatever it is, I'm definitely interested in working together to meet the needs of our community. Because again, if we don't do it, it doesn't happen, right? And so, yes, we are going to have a launch of the lab. So I'll send out an invite to this group and others, as well as folks at the city. Because again, like Mr. Jerry Buckman at the city was very, I mean, we hear so much, and I can speak to it personally, how much the city does not work for regular citizens and residents, but we also want to highlight when it does. And Jerry Buckman with the Office of Digital Inclusion with City of Kansas City has been phenomenal. He deserves all the props in the world, right? And so we're going to have a launch of that. And then we're going to just have continued programming, open houses, forums, that type of thing, just to get people aware and to feel comfortable coming in and accessing the resource because it's a community resource. I mean, it's in Blue Hills neighborhood, but it's a community resource. All right. And we want to make that available and accessible.
I have a
Thank you.
question.
Yeah, Sheena?
So I mean, I hear a lot about how there's a need. So I'm curious about how is this information getting sent out to the communities? How often are we having workshops? I'm new to this. I'm kind of new to the city. So if I can have some information or if someone can point me in the right direction, I'm really intrigued and want to know how I can support.
Yes, ma'am. So I will tell you, we have our CAN meetings every third Saturday at 6025 Prospect at the Salvation Army Center. We utilize newsletters, email blasts, phone blasts. So I'll add your information to that listing. We also do canvassing. We have youth programming, especially the summer. We do internships, externships, and we leverage our youth to go out and canvass, to pass out information. But we also do activity programming, life skills. We have a lady named Miss Lakeisha Martin who's with the Boy Scouts who is phenomenal. And so she partners with us in providing youth engagement and employment opportunities. So we would love to work with you because we are we would like to think we are emerging to become tech savvy. And we want to expand that to our youth to get them to leverage that as a way to keep them engaged in our neighborhood beyond just the summertime. So I think your program would definitely be a value add, not just to our neighborhood, but just to neighborhoods in general. I would also recommend you reach out to Center for Neighborhoods. They are a hub for all of registered neighborhoods in Kansas City. And so Dina, Jacob, LaMonica, they are awesome people. They are extended family, and they are really committed to the cause. I mean, they do the work and do their job. And those are two different things, right? And so they will definitely be a resource to help you. And you can just go to Google and just type in Center for Neighborhoods, Kansas City, the link's there. But if you get any of them, tell them Ed Bell sent you, harass them, bug them, and tell them Ed Bell said, I'm supposed to harass and bug you to make sure you help me. And they'll smile and do that. But we just have a lot of great community partners here in Kansas City that really want to work and make things better. So just plug in and tap in. We're here for you.
Thank you.
So this reminds me, Leah dropped our link to subscribe to our digital inclusion newsletter. We have a lot of great information for our partners in there as well. But this is reminding me of a question that I forgot to ask, which is as communication has gone, more digitally, how are you navigating that for people who are still on the wrong side of the digital divide, who don't have an email address, who don't use Facebook, for instance? A lot of times our most active residents are older adults, and they happen to be disproportionately disconnected. So just curious about how you're figuring all that out.
We do phone calls.
Hi, may I ask something? Can you hear me?
Yeah, is it around the same question, Lena?
Yeah, kind of similar because recently when the public transportation become like they need the money, it's not free anymore. And I work with refugees, so many of them they're not familiar how to download app, how to use it. So it's like make their lives even more harder. And I would like to know how people addressing this because you could not just go to the bus, give them cash. It's not available. So they have to download the app or something like this. And many of our clients, like they just want to rely on us to provide cards or whatever fast. So I would like to hear if people also addressing this issue, how they doing it.
So something Blue Hills does, you know, I'm just tapping in. We have applied and gotten some free bus passes for our residents. It's not a large amount, but we're trying to just do what we can in that regard. The door-to-door canvassing, we provide a door knocker that has a QR code for folks to get their cell phone out and scan and tap into links to get information. As an educator who worked in a school that had 33 different languages in it, I am very hypersensitive to the conditions in which we're dealing with the current administration. And so we want to present ourselves as a safe space for our community members too. And so if there's a network in which you tap into that needs help, I would say south of 49th Street to about 63rd Street, let us know. I've seen with the school district, and I just left the school district this year, but recently the school district has eliminated the ELL program, the English Language Learner Program, which was really hosted at East High School. And so those students have been now sent to their neighborhood schools, and we are seeing not just the initial barriers to communication impeding the learning, but also the cultural impact of having to move around to different areas in which you are not familiar with and don't feel safe traversing those different terrains, considering the ICE element and the other law enforcement elements that are out there. And so I would just say, Ms. Lena, if you have a network that is in our area or proximal to, Blue Hills is a safe space. We will definitely work in service. And so we just want to make that an opportunity because we have a myriad of programming. I mean, we just built a food pantry outside in our yard, right outside the house. And so again, we're just trying to not be all over the place, but really just meet the myriads of needs of our community members through strategic partnerships. And so if there is one that we can form with you and your organization to meet the needs of those residents and those community members within Blue Hills or proximal areas, we're here for it. So just reach out.
Thank you. I will. Actually, our location is 46 in Paseo, so I believe it's in the area. But our refugees living all over the affordable places, Northeast Kansas City and around the JVS as well. Thank you.
Any other questions for our panelists today?
This is Gloria with Goodwill. It's my first time to the meeting. I've thoroughly enjoyed the presenters, the information provided. I just wanted to let you know that Goodwill has been in the community for 130 some years. I work as an outreach and engagement partner, and I've recently started teaching digital literacy because some of my coworkers had to take a leave. And Goodwill is really good. We have free training programs for adults. We have Bridge to Technology. If you didn't know that, it's Bridge to Technology. Excuse my voice. I'm getting over laryngitis, so I've been trying not to speak so often. We have manufacturing and Cisco networking. And those two classes come with a certification, and it's all free. They're half days, 6 weeks. And we're down here on 18th and Charlotte. It's where we have the classes. Excellent instructors. And we also have a free adult high school called Excel Center. And Goodwill also has wraparound services for individuals who need help with finding a job, applying for a job, writing the resume, and interviewing. So those are some skills that that we know some people struggle with. And like you said, having a phone, having an email, you need those items to even function nowadays, you know, to get a job and to you know, help provide for your family. And I see a lot of people who struggle with the digital literacy. I actually go into different shelters and teach it on site there. And we have a mobile workforce unit. We just lost our driver, but we're looking for another one. So we're going to start having the mobile workforce units go back out into the community, neighborhood associations, shelters, wherever we can go and help people. And it's all free. It's all
Gloria,
free.
Joe left?
Yeah, Joe left.
Well,
I know.
that's
I was
a bummer.
heartbroken too. Yeah, so
Gosh.
he's no longer with us, but
Okay.
we're looking for a new driver that can teach digital literacy at the same time. So, yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned neighborhood associations. Are you currently taking the MWU to any neighborhood
I'm
associations?
not. I'm just filling in. So I don't have a license to drive it, and I really don't want to drive it. But
Okay.
I am picking up some of those clients in locations that he was servicing, and Jenny
Okay.
as well, because Jenny's out on medical leave. So both of our digital trainers are out, and Laura is still here, and she's still doing her part. And you know,
Okay.
I
All right.
know digital literacy, but I've never really taught it. So you know, I'm working it. So I just want you to know, Goodwill is here, has a plethora of resources, and just want to help. You know, we have workforce development specialists who provide wraparound services for people. So we even go to Blueford Public Library. So we do go in there and about different places, Shelter KC, City Union Mission, in the neighborhood location. So yeah.
So Edward, once you get your lab going, Goodwill
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
provide some services.
it's mobile unit. It's in a what do you want to say, like a suitcase on wheels. We have 10 laptops, and we'll take with us when we go to different places if they don't have a computer lab.
Yeah, and so I don't even think you'll need to have the MWU because they'll have the lab up and going here soon. So
Yeah.
all you need to do is show up and provide
Okay.
the workshops. So
Okay.
it's awesome. Okay, well, I think that means that we have entered
Thank you.
The announcements portion of our meeting. But Leah's got a question. What partnerships are you looking for? We'll knock that out before we move on.
Excuse me. We're looking for community important.
I'm sorry. This is for the panelists, Gloria.
Okay.
Yeah. Just wanted to loop back around to that real quick, and then we'll go back out to the general announcements. Edward, Mr. Ike, what partnerships are you looking for?
As I brought up before, we already work with a lot of folks, historic East neighborhoods, urban center. We work with a lot of people. We got partnerships. But what I want to see is for, like I spoke earlier about all the presidents coming together.
Mm-hmm.
That's the partner. That's my interest.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Edward, do you have thoughts on your partnerships that you're looking for?
Not anything new to add to the discussion, just what we talked about. Just, those the technical assistance, and like how Megan has programming with KC Library. I just think whatever we can offer that's of value, we want to do that, right? And so
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it's a narrow funnel so much. It's just a focus on getting our citizens equipped for this level of participation and where society is with digital inclusion. And so, I mean, the smartphones, the tablets, the screens aren't going anywhere. But I'm also, I would say this too. The smart technology does not just apply to a end user type of technology in terms of a tablet, but also in how we build homes and how we develop. I'm really looking at creating smart homes where our seniors go into a room and the light comes on and goes off without it. The doors can unlock and open with their fingerprints and handprints. I mean, there's just some very livability enhancements to livability that we can leverage technology for. And I think this type of group becomes a hub to find where those resources are. So if anything, it's just being part of the cool kids group here and being able to be plugged into the flow of information. Because I mean, I just think that's the biggest thing, right? So thank you for this. And please allow me to continue to be participatory.
Yeah, I would love to have you every month. Okay, so real quick, we've got a couple of announcements. Leah, can you please put the flyer for next week's innovation team meet and greet in the chat? So we've got the City of Kansas City, Missouri's Office of Environmental Quality and their innovation team are going to have this workshop around public innovation. It will be here at our LAMP campus where we have our digital inclusion programming at Linwood 71 Highway in that old presbytery. So we encourage you to come and provide your input to the city and hear from their Office of Environmental Quality. There's a lot that's happening in neighborhoods that I think that you can contribute to. So they're specifically looking at the 3rd and 5th districts. So hope to see you there. Then the other announcement we have quickly is that Digitunity, which is a national nonprofit, has a collection of curriculum that you can use at no cost to you. It is plug and play, really easy to stand up. If you've been looking for something, especially I think the latest offering is for youth, to help keep them safe online. They have the instructor slide deck, they've got the handouts, they've got the whole 9 yards. So Leah's put that link in the chat as well. And you can check out that those materials and then, just use them as you'd like. They were created by AT&T, and so I think that they would love to have more people using those materials that they went to the trouble of creating, and hope it can help people avoid scams and other online dangers. Okay, well, with that, open it up to the floor if anybody has any other announcements. Gloria, you all are currently enrolling for the Bridge to Technology programs right now, aren't you? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry about that. I think the deadline I don't have it in front of me right now. I think it's August 14th, the
Okay.
registration deadline for the next cohort.
Okay, great.
But I will send that out.
Okay, sounds good. Anybody else have anything to announce? Well, we already talked in length about the Digital Equity Act. Anybody have any questions about that? You want to use a few minutes for that, or you can contact me directly if you want to have a chat about what that looks like. It's all very complicated, and the TLDR here is that we're in wait and see mode. But there is a lot of money that could be available. So we are definitely getting ready, and if it's something you want to engage with us about, we'd love to set up time one-on-one to talk more. Okay, well, last call for any more announcements. Okay, well, appreciate you all being here today, and everybody have a good and safe weekend. And we will see you. One thing that we wanted to just gauge people's interest in. We were thinking the first full week of October is always Digital Inclusion Week. October's coalition call actually starts on October 1, so the Friday before Digital Inclusion Week, but we thought about maybe getting together in person at our innovation office at 710 Central in Kansas City, Missouri. Just curious if you all would be thought that you might make it in person. Yeah, it says yes. Yeah, Lena. Okay. If we had a hybrid option, who would join virtually instead? Okay. Okay, Rosalind, you probably would be virtual. All right. Well, we might just try it and see who comes, but we were kind of thinking maybe doing like lightning talks, where maybe you could do a little presentation about what you all are doing, but just stay tuned for that, and we're still trying to figure it out. But appreciate everybody, and definitely appreciate all our panelists today. Neighborhood work is hard, and you all are doing that hard work, and we appreciate you so much. And Megan, you're just that capacity builder, and that's such an important resource. So appreciate the library and all that you do. So with that, everybody have a great weekend.
Thank you. You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye-bye.